Hi, welcome back guys and some gals. We're talking about avocados today. I recently found an old love for avocados again lately, and honestly I don't know why I stopped ever eating them. Well, I know why. I was scared of the fat like most of you, but I eat the same thing every day. So I cut out the nut butter and replaced that with one small avocado, then 2 small avocados per day, or 1 medium avocado. Now I'm up to 2 medium avocados per day. I'll probably stop there. My weight and physique has stayed exactly the same. I usually make guacamole and put it in my cooked meat with the sliced cherries, tomatoes on top, and then some greens. I mean, the changes to my skin, my sleep, my sleep statistics on my Whoop, just been crazy. I mean, as well as my hair. My hair is, honestly, it's softer than a tushy. It's crazy. And I haven't even really been doing it for that long. I don't know the exact day count. But if you were to instead add guacamole and not just an avocado, because you're lazy, let's be honest, to your diet every day, you'd be much, much better off. So let's talk about it. Most people enjoy guac with chips, me being one of them. You can use keto chips or keto crackers, and that's really the biggest problem with guacamole is how do you consume it with a chip that is not filled with corn oil, and vegetable oils that are highly inflammatory, but they taste absolutely delicious, right? You can do what I do, and many others do, and that's using thin sliced cucumbers. I know, sounds like the party just got shut down, but it's actually good. You gotta give it a try. But that's the problem with guacamole. You're at the restaurant, and what are you going to eat it with? A spoon? Well, people like those chips, and then they start feeling pain and inflammation, like in their joints, their knees. And so if you consumed it with healthier foods, you would actually be in really good shape, and that's what I've been testing. But guacamole has some really good things in it that I want to talk about, and I will put a really good recipe down below on exactly how to make a really good one. So let's start with the avocado though. Why are they healthy? Why are they so healthy, right? It's like everyone keeps talking about this monounsaturated fatty acid, and it's the same fat in olive oil, like really good olive oil. And apparently it's really good for insulin resistance and supporting a healthy heart. So avocados have like 71% of this monounsaturated fatty acid, and olive oil has roughly about the same. But just FYI, lard is about 50% monounsaturated fatty acid. Tallow, which has become popular, people put on their skin, all that, is beef fat. It's about 50% monounsaturated. And then there's butter. Butter has about 29% of monounsaturated fatty acid. Without getting too distracted, I just want to mention one thing about saturated fats. That one thing. It's like every single study that I've seen that states that saturated fats are bad for your heart are not differentiating between the high fat diet and the high carbohydrate diet. They all come with high carbohydrates. So how can anyone say that it's the fat that's causing the damage and not the high carbs? Or even the combination of both, which creates something known as glycation. Glycation, which is it's a kind of binding of your fats with your proteins. It's creating a big problem with your heart and your eyes. It just plugs everything up. So there's a very huge study that I read involving 135,000 Canadians, I think it was. And they looked at the difference between what happens when you eat a low carb versus a high fat diet, and which one of those is more significant in relationship to mortality. And this is what they found. It's the lowering of the carbohydrates, not the lowering of the fat, that will extend your life and extend it significantly. 23% lower risk of dying, and also an 18% lower risk of getting a stroke, which is pretty significant. Anyways, it's just like food for thought, but let's get back on topic. Consuming avocados have a lot of other things. They got phytonutrients. They also have something called glutathione, which is a very powerful antioxidant for your liver. They have carotenoids that help your vision and also help to prevent against macular degeneration of your eyes. My dad had this. It affects the light sensitive tissue at the back of the eye. It eventually leads to blindness. Let's just say it's bad. Avocados are good for inflammation, as well as your arteries, brain, skin, your hair. Overall, it's a very healthy food. But what about if we make guacamole? Let's talk about the other ingredients in guacamole. like lime or lemon, sea salt, the onions, tomatoes, and another secret ingredient I'm gonna mention at the end. I mean, you can take an already superfood and boost this baby to the moon with turning it into guac. I mean, this stuff is powerful. First of all, if you actually have a lime or a lemon and you just put that on it instead of just the juice, if you take the whole piece minus the seeds, obviously, you get a good amount of vitamin C. So that's one thing. Number two, you get citric acid that can actually prevent kidney stones. If you're on the famous ketogenic plan, that could be a potential problem for some people. I mean, who are at risk for them, right? I heard they're painful. I know a couple people that had them. You definitely don't want them. But not so much if you drink enough water, like 2.5 liters per day, as well as having citrates. Citrates are found in lemons and limes. They bind with the oxalates, which prevent those pesky kidney stones, which can just be extremely painful. Also, vitamin C is good to prevent fat from accumulating in your liver. It's good for the liver in general, and it's also good for overall weight loss. This is something I found out that was pretty cool. So, okay, so we have avocados, we have lime, we have lemon, we have the sea salt, right? Right. So, sea salt has like 84 different minerals, all the main minerals plus a lot of trace minerals that are hard to get in our foods. And if you are an active person, sweating a lot, or on the ketogenic plan, you definitely need more sea salt. If you're deficient in salt, you'll just feel weaker. Okay, that's one of the common symptoms. If you're concerned about too much sodium, which most people are because their doctor tells them to cut back on sodium, blah, 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 there's a great type of sea salt that is lower in sodium, but higher in these other minerals. I'll put that link down below if I can remember. And then we have the tomato. You know, there's a lot of different varieties or types of tomatoes nowadays in the grocery store. They're just basically, I mean, they're tasteless. But if you get a good tomato and put it in your guacamole, it can really help you with many different things. And one being lycopene. Lycopene is a phytonutrient that's really good for the heart. It's an anti-inflammatory. It's good to protect your skin from ultraviolet radiation. It can act as a sunscreen. It also has anti-cancer properties and is good for your bones as well. I mean, tomatoes, again, you start mixing these things together and then we get to the, you guessed it, onion, baby. And you can get a red onion, which is a little bit better because it's going to be higher in this main phytonutrient called quercetin or quercetin, however you may pronounce it. It's a very interesting compound, especially for allergies. I mean, it lowers your histamines, but anything related to allergies, it's also really good for like hay fever, things like that. It's also good for lowering your blood pressure. It's good for gout. I mean, it's really good for just your immune system, and it can even decrease your risk of certain types of cancer. And if you can get a red onion, I mean, just do any onions because all onions have this compound, but red tends to have more, and also onions are really high in vitamin C. So don't skip the onions. This is why they used to, way back when they had scurvy, the sailors used to consume onions to get their full vitamin C complex. Yeah, true story. Look it up. Onions, also with this special golden ingredient, some might use or might not, but here's that golden ingredient. Garlic. Yes, garlic really helps your liver complete this phase 1 and phase 2 of detoxification. You want to keep your liver clean, which is really important in converting poisons to harmless particles. So they go from fat-soluble chemicals and toxins to water-soluble chemicals. The main phytonutrient that a lot of people know about is allicin. And this compound does a lot. It's been talked about a lot, but I mean, garlic is the golden ingredient, the heavy hitter on top of the avocado with so many things, especially antimicrobial. So if you have, parasites, which I hope not, or too much of the wrong unfriendly pathogens in your body, whether it's a virus or bacteria or fungus or yeast or mold or shit worse, candida, garlic is what you need to take. I mean, this just cleans your body out. Garlic could be considered a natural antibiotic, but it's like without the side effects. Stay away from antibiotics, but I'm no doctor. Garlic also is great to act as a natural blood thinner, so it's really good for the heart. It's really good to, lower your blood pressure. It's really good to prevent cancer. And it's also good for your gut microbes. It's also a potent anti-inflammatory. So if you can just stick that in any different type of foods that you're eating anyways, the more the better. And then we come to another ingredient in guacamole, the last and final for me. And this is, usually people pick this out or take it off, but it's the cilantro. Cilantro has some really interesting things as well, specifically to protect the liver against heavy metals. You want to keep that liver clean. Cilantro binds with these heavy metals and acts as a natural chelator. Chelator just means it's just like it claws or binds and it pulls out these heavy metals. Cilantro also has been studied for seizures because it has anticonvulsant properties, which is interesting. As you can see, it's like avocados, and even better yet, guacamole is a great heavy hitter that can improve your health. So if you were to consume that every day on your foods, this is what would happen. Number one, your blood sugars would be much better because you'd be able to fast longer. You would have an improved cardiovascular system. You would have less pathogens in your body. You would have a stronger immune system. You would definitely have more energy. I have a ton of energy. And less inflammation. Better, deeper sleep. Definitely. Like me, and softer hair skin. And all this on top of the benefits of being on a already healthy diet and intermittent fasting, plus moving your body daily, which I highly suggest. I think hands down, avocados, really guacamole, is everything that you should include on a regular basis. So please comment down below on your thoughts about guacamole in general, and if you like it or not. That's it for now. I drop videos on mindset, health, and fitness. So if you like that stuff, subscribe. And until next time, dudes and dudettes, catch you later.